uncolored. The story begins with Christine recounting her idea of how she came in contact with John Yamada, a soldier from game industry who was in reality portrayed by Joshua Wise. He tells her to go to her Sega Dreamcast game console, for it contained the key to creating a portal between dimensions. Magi-chan teleported to her and scanned the console. Upon touching it, they felt electricity surge through them, and a portal opened up into the world depicted in the game and anime series Hyperdimension Neptunia. Chris then details the struggles and battles in Quickville between various foes and heroes from different franchises, including Akan from the film Hardcore Henry, Monica from the game Doki Doki Literature Club, and the Sailor Scouts from the anime Sailor Moon. Later on, Quickville gets attacked by Akan, leading a troop of Russian cloakers taken from the game series Stalker. Because of Akan, Quickville Shopping Mall and then later Chris's own house get destroyed, but then quickly restored back to normality again. While signing a peace treaty, Akan then opens up a time vortex which sucks in Chris and Sonichu. While Chris remains trapped, Sonichu gets forcibly relocated to Africa, where he is chased by the natives. Along the way, he meets with Dr. Emmett Brown from the Back to the Future film series, who offers to give him a ride back to Quickville. Chris goes on to explain that in Quickville's dimension, the USA lost the Cold War to Russia and as a consequence are ruled by the Russian Federation. In 2016, Hillary Clinton was elected president, but after violently falling ill, she was replaced by Vladimir Putin of Russia. This resulted in riots between the Russian mafia and the Japanese organized crime collective, the Yakuza. In Quickville, Ian Brandon Anderson was elected as sheriff, and the new mayor of Quickville was the actor Brendan Fraser. Chris reflected that during the male Christian Chandler's term in office, he revoked women's rights in the area and had banished Quickville's Megan Schroeder because of the way the real-world Megan had rejected Christian in 2007, stripping her of her special powers, though she was later promoted to a CPU goddess. Christine and John Yamada then traveled back in time to the year 2000 to prevent the old Christian from abolishing women's rights. Christine was very disappointed with the Christian of 2000, as he had been possessed by Satan or something. Christine discovered that Christian had become kidnapped and converted by Nazis, and had used the powers of his own Sonichu medallion to keep dictator Adolf Hitler alive. Christine killed off Christian and took away the powers of the medallion, causing Hitler to disintegrate into dust. John Yamada then traveled further back in time to prevent Christian's kidnapping, later learning that Christian had been taken to Islam to have his demonic possession exorcised by having his Sonichu medallion shoved up his anus. Christine then reveals that out of the 69 special Sonichu eggs that were emitted from the chaotic rainbow of February 1st, 2003, 2 of them resulted in her father, Bob Chandler, and herself. She declares herself as have been a real Sonichu for her whole life in the world of Quickville and the Chosen One. Aside from herself, she tells the readers that most of the residents of her town have become satanic, atheist, or what. Chris states that Angelica Rosechew, along with the entire Christian church of the town, first converted to Islamism, then Satanism. Blake Sonichu became an extremist who worshipped Islamic militant leader Osama bin Laden. Wild Sonichu began growing marijuana, which Chris did not mind much. However, she much objected to Wild's production of methamphetamines. Bubbles Rosechew started to identify as a muscular black male, and Punchy Sonichu wound up in an insane asylum. Chris then inserted the page she drew on December 7th, 2017, after learning from Joshua Wise that Rosechew had allegedly been born as a male and had gender reassignment surgery to become a fully functional female in 2008. Christine wrote extensively of how much these news upset her, largely because she had defended her over the years upon seeing troll-created imagery of Rosechew with a penis. After some time, Chris felt she could continue to love and cherish her Rosie regardless. She then added a short summary of how when Sonichu and Rosechew first met, they kissed a lot in sewage, and when they first made love, they role-played as hockey players. Chris then moves on to discuss the war between Quickville and the neighboring nation of Australatina, a fictional land created by noted lolcow, ADF, and introduced to Chris through Joshua Wise. The war was started when a quick defense soldier pooped on the border between the two nations, and was then killed by the Austinans. Not long after the start of the war, DJ Jamsta Sonichu was sued by Punchy for sexual assault. Chris felt that he was not guilty, so she sent prayers and good vibes to the courthouse. As a result, Jamsta was found not guilty, but riots ensued across the town. A few days later, the Austinans